We talk beauty, beauty. More than the problem I have with this part, but I see more than 35 years. We are more than that, more than 40 years.
We have 41 years.
41 years of experience in this particular sector of beauty. That is very important. Congratulations for that.
Thank you. I'm not aware. I see just the challenges that lie ahead of me, more things to be done, better ways to do them, more competent professionals acting on the field, more advocates, you know, and we thank God. It's been a wonderful journey. I think someday we should maybe make a review.
Yeah, but it's important because the last time you told me that you started this business when you were 19 years old.
20 years.
So you have decided to jump into the entrepreneurship. What motivates you?
I was assisting my wife, actually.
Okay.
Yes, and we all were curious. Beauty was not taught in school. You know, you wanted to be a medical doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you know, those sort of things. So you met this young lady who was in beauty, and you say, okay, fine. When you love somebody, you love what they're doing, you support it. But, you know, I'm an artist, and I am a scientific-minded person, and the beauty is the art and the science of beauty care. It's always the art and the science. Yes. So it absorbed me, and I found a wonderful industry, you know, just absorbing every little pleasure that could emanate from my own system. Was just welcomed with a lot of radiation. We've done quite a lot. We've met with some of the finest beauticians in the world. We've interacted inside and out of the country. We've gone on to great platforms, made our mark, won the respect of very reputable organizations, and we've been able to be blessed to work with some of the finest people. I mean, if I were to make a government for Cameroon, I think it would be 80% women and 20% of men. Yes.
Why? Just because of the student you used to have at the academy?
No. Some of the clients. I've met some of the finest ladies. Some of the finest ladies in the world have been met in Viva Coiffure, and a good number of them are Cameroonians. Very decent people with very high standards in all walks of life. Entrepreneurs, finance, arts and culture, in the industry, in technology, in family, social affairs, medical, mental health, and so on. Some of the finest women. And today we continue to have more and more of them. I just wish that through our eyes, you know, and discussions like this, we can use them to build this country, because this is what we need. You know, the results of your game is the team members that bring those results. So if we can make good use of them. But a beautiful profession, because, you know, I went into beauty, and through beauty I had the opportunity to touch, to feel, and to connect. To touch, to feel, and to connect. And in that process, I developed a calling for mental health. And I developed the mental health using, you know, beauty therapy as a tool in enhancing, protecting, and healing in the mental health. So I am an integrative therapist, where I use conventional psychotherapeutic tools and theories, and at the same time somatic solutions, addressing the body pain, the body, the emotions, and so on, through massage, yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. Beautiful. I mean, it is good to know that, you know, you have everything with you. And yes, it's good to know that you have everything with you.
And this combination is very powerful, because people used to say that beauty salon are like room for the psychotherapist, right?
Yeah, and we are advocating now that the curriculum, the way we train beauticians, should change, because they should understand they are not psychologists, neither psychotherapists as beauticians, except you want to do what I did, because, you know, these are different skills. You have to build that knowledge along the way. But they should be aware that they are managing sensitive material. In CHIANGONG Hair Beauty and Fashion, we are very clear on that. The training already prepares them to know that as hairdressers, as barbers, as massage therapists and facial technicians, you are handling sensitive moments, sensitive people, and they can be catharsis, they can be overflow, they can be release, you know. So you must know how to manage those situations without treating them, you know, because you don't have the expertise. So we already create a lot of awareness in our training, and our students, I think, as professionals, they make all the difference. Yes, that has been certified. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Now I want to ask you the question to jump into the theme of today that concerns the role and responsibility of women in the promotion of the living together. You are in contact with women in daily basis. What do you think?
They play the central role. You know, in a family where the woman did not federate all the forces, the family break down.
Yeah.
You know, you as a man, when you get married, you should be blessed with my mother. You know, my mother is a beautiful example of a woman that federated all sorts of species, because, I mean, you know, you don't want people to behave the same. When you get into a family, your own side of the family of your in-laws, and then friends of that family, you have different types of species. To keep all of them together and make that home a stable place, you must be a genius. Women can do this. They have been doing it for years, and it is very important that we find those ones who are gifted and who have already shown their mark, who have made their mark in bringing people together and creating harmonized societies, organizations, to be part of the building process of what we look forward to as a Cameroon, as Africa. Yes, women have a central role. As a matter of fact, the family, you know, radiates around, you know, the mother. There's no question about that. And for most young girls who don't understand this magical role of a woman, I think it's unfortunate. We need to educate the women to know that this is not just a word. These are not declarations and slogans. They come into this world with that mission ordained. They are ordained to that, for that mission. So when you fight it, you know that there is an imbalance in your life. A woman should not be questioning whether she should have children. She should not be questioning whether she should be married. She should not be questioning whether she should be able to be attentive. She's a social worker by nature. Be able to listen to people, understand their pain and find. So she should not question that. She may lack abilities, yes. She may not be ready, yes. She may be pondering on it, yes, but she should not question that.
No.
Yes, because these are things that, you know, you just like you decide not to breathe. It's oxygen. It's been there, it's waiting for you. By the time you arrive the earth, they have put oxygen there. It's not in mass. You don't have oxygen in mass. So if you care, you can arrive there. You will not leave. If you have not taken some stock with you, you won't stay. So it's like, you know, refusing. There are a lot of things that are already programmed for us. And you flow easily you move easily with the flow just because you understand. You come into the world knowing you have to breathe, you have to drink water, you have to eat, you have to socialize. These are programmed in us, and you gravitate towards them naturally. There are other things that the society will push you to doing, which are not it, and that's when your mental health stress begins. So women should know that they are programmed to build the community. They are social workers by their nature.
But why they are not very present in the political scene, for instance?
It's simply because men are actually who they are. They don't federate. They always feel like they are threatened, you know. You know, men, you know, every man is working on boundaries. You know, they make the fence so thick that it takes all the land, and the house becomes so small you don't have where to stay. You know, they are always on boundaries. Men are always making boundaries, you know. Why women break the boundaries?
Yeah.
You know, women are breaking the boundaries, but the men the men are always there building boundaries. So the boundary is good, but if the boundary occupy all the land, there will be no house.
There is no more place to live.
Yes. So the men are always making des barrières, ils construisent une barrière, de plus en plus épais, de plus en plus épais. Voici ma territoire, voici ma territoire, voici ma territoire. Donc voilà.
That is it. But I wanted to know what can we do to bring more women into the business. But what I mean by the business is the taking care of the administration, the political sector, and then the social sector. We need more women in action.
Put the woman at the head.
Just like that.
Well, just like that.
She better have skills also.
Where don't they have the skills? Tell me. Just give me an example. Look at what is happening all over the world. Where are the women lacking? Tell me.
But we want them to do the move first. Maybe to move, to let people know that they want to do it.
Let them do it. Yeah, they are doing it. Yeah. You used to say that, why are blacks not here? Why are blacks not there? But there is a system that is stopping them from being there. Yeah, few people like Obama will break through, Mandela will break through, but look at the sheer effort it takes. When somebody moves into a place, another person has to sacrifice their whole life to do the same thing on the same earth with the same, So there is a system that, from even the education of the woman, we have not started making them to understand that they can be leaders of the community, they can be the first lady or the first executive of a country, So you have Angela Merkel and, people like Condoleezza Rice and Hillary Clinton, who make those
from Liberia.
From Liberia, Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson.
Yes. You have those people who make the exceptions. So we need to build more literature, more material, supportive material. We need to build a lot more to empower them. One thing is certain: in our traditional societies, we had queens that ruled in Africa. We had the Mafos that were the kingmakers, and they were like the governors. Even if there was the king, they governed the whole community because you didn't make any laws without consulting them. So they have been in African communities very, very present and in the management of the serious matters of the state. So we better be inspired by our traditions also, where we have seen cases that when these mothers were involved, there were spectacular results, some wonderful achievements. So I think that we are challenged. We should just go deeper into our thoughts and see how we can do. Yes, of course, we know that we have to encourage the women also, let them take the offensive more and more, and then the education will help somehow.
That's very important. Now, before we finish our interview of today, our sharing of today, I want us to talk about CHIANGONG, Beauty and Fashion.
Yes.
For this upcoming International Women's Day.
Women's Day. Yes, we've done a lot of beautiful packages for the women, and actually I've also given up my availability to give talks in companies on mental health, on well-being, on psychological balance, on work-life balance, on enhancing the woman's dimension. Like we're having discussions here. We have written to a number of corporate bodies, making our availability to take care of the women and also to be able to give talks, to let it be maybe a web talk or direct, to be able to participate in the animation and the upkeep of the spirit of the woman as an identity that it cannot be polluted, diluted, that don't need to be compromised, So we are open to be part of this whole dynamic. And at the salons, we are offering special packages for the women to come over and pamper themselves. I already have a number of calls. I'm trying to schedule for them. And so just book out your space. We even have some days in the school where we are going to be giving free services to the women. And they will just come in and... Free
services at the academy, right?
At the academy, yes, where the students will be receiving them to do nails, facials, makeup, pamper them, So they just have to, and those services will stay because we want them to be partners of the academy, so that there are times when they will tell them on these days you can always stop by and you can have. So Johnson, you may come as a man, but I will still take you. You're my friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Thank you.
It is very. Did I say Johnson Jumper?
No, Jumper.
Jumper. So we want to pamper the women. You know, there is something special. I was discussing with Mireille Grass on the rendezvous, and we were talking about massaging the women. And it was such a special discussion because massage is one of those services that the women need most. You know, these ladies get up before all of us, and they sleep late after all of us.
Yeah.
These ladies will carry the children on their back because the child doesn't want to go away from the mother. So they will have to call the child. At the same time, they will have to do the house chores. These children these mothers are in the hospital with the kids. Very few cases. I want to congratulate my junior brother, Gideon Changong. I saw him taking the babies to the hospital. You know, Gideon, congratulations. You are a rare guy. I went to the general hospital. He was there with the baby. I said, where's the mother? I said, the mother is at work. I said, you are a great guy. You know, but the mothers are rushing away. I have this other great lady, Rose, who had to disappear from a party just because the baby is having a high temperature. You know, in a beautiful environment, you are having a great time, and you give it up just because a phone call. So these women are just magicians. And let us realize that we are sitting here because we had great mothers.
Yeah.
And so I will send my love to Mama Febe, my own sweetheart. Yes, they did all of that. So we think that massage is one of those services that helps to take away, the pressure on their neck, the shoulder, the trapezius, down the back, the chest area, the upper and the lower limbs, and that helps to appease the total, complete nervous system that is always tense by the end of the day. Most men don't understand why a woman comes to bed and she's no longer receptive for sex. I mean,
after spending years.
She's killed the sensitivity in all the chores. She sacrificed everything in all the chores. And by the time she comes to bed, she falls into the bed. If you are a nice guy, just give her a massage. Let her sleep. You do what you can on the, the shoulder, just pamper her. Treat her like your angel. Let her sleep and leave her alone. If you have done it well, maybe at 4 a.m. she may just turn around and say hello.
Yeah.
I appreciated what you did.
Yeah.
But not then, please. Just allow her to sleep.
Thank you for the advice and for everything, for the input, Mr. Shango.
Always my pleasure, and I look forward to receiving you all, dear ladies, at Viva Coiffure, wherever you can catch us in Bonamusadi or Bonapriso, and you can come to Aqua. As a matter of fact, today I'll be in Bonapriso from 12 o'clock to receive and take care of you all.
Everything is well said. Now, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. And thank you guys for being with us for this other edition of the Morning Show. Good morning, Cameroon, 2 hours. And give you the rendezvous tomorrow. But don't touch your remote, because at 10 you have Catherine Connie, Mireille Grass, and Calvino for the rendezvous. Hey, see you tomorrow. Same time, 7 a.m. on the same channel, Spectrum Television. Bye-bye.